Hey everyone, Lance Earl here, your host. Hey, I was wondering, can we talk today about truth? If anything matters at all, truth must be at the top of the list. It must, by necessity, be the highest priority and the most critical and necessary ingredient in life itself. What is truth? Do you even know? Does anyone know? I believe I know what truth is and how it is defined. Hey, stay right here. I'll be back in just a minute. Freedom is not free, but I can help. I offer a set of fundraisers that include advanced firearms training, defensive law seminars, constitution workshops with a focus on the local solution. Now, why the local solution? It's simple. Government of, for, and by the people must always be close to the people. Hey, give me a call, 208-317-9843. Let's talk freedom. You will fight as you train. Lance Earl here. Freedom is under attack. The truth is, it doesn't matter which freedom. You see, when one freedom is under fire, all freedom is at risk. I don't know. Maybe the Second Amendment is not your thing. Maybe you don't even own a gun. But still, I am asking you to mark Saturday, February 20th on your calendar. On this day, the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance will lead the charge in the fight for your freedoms. Full details are available at idahosaa.org. That's idahosaa.org. Now, you gun owners will want to be there as well. At this event, you can defend your right to keep and bear arms, and maybe, just maybe, you will be the lucky winner of a free advanced firearms course. Just look for the guy in the Dally Post tactical jacket. Hey, that'll be me. I'll get you signed up for the drawing. The undeniable reality is that truth is what the money says it is. Truth is defined by those who have the money. Allow me to share a couple of very personal examples of truth that was defined by money. A few years ago, I ran for the Idaho State Legislature against Representative Kelly Packer. Imagine my surprise when glossy flyers were mailed throughout District 28 proclaiming that I had committed to not fund higher education. This is the truth that only money can buy. Now, here's the reality. Packer had sponsored a bill that would forgive student loans, but only for certain students based on their major. As a result, I wrote a column in which I stated that I would not support the funding of higher education unless it benefited all students equally. Do you see the subtle difference here? At the same time, I was surprised to see a column in the Idaho State Journal written by Packer, and it indicated that I had committed to repeal the 17th Amendment and thereby remove the people's right to elect their senators. The truth is that this issue is of so little importance to me that it is pushed so far back on the back burner that if this pan dried up and caught fire, I wouldn't even notice. At any rate, I immediately contacted Ian Fennell. He's the editor at the Idaho State Journal. I asked him if he would fact-check this article for me. Well, Fennell contacted Packer. She gave him a song and dance, gave him her evidence. However, when Fennell did fact-check this column, it turned out that Packer had spoken a lie, and she was forced by the Idaho State Journal to correct her untruth. At this point, it's important to point out that Packer knew the truth, and she knew that others knew it as well. But still, money buys the truth, and she can change it with enough money. So the lie started popping up on local radio. Now, with each occurrence, I contacted the station. I provided them with Fennell's findings and demanded equal time since they were publishing a false statement. Now, they never gave me any time, but they did immediately pull all the Packer ads. No problem for Packer, though. She just moved to the next radio station and bought the same ad again. And then this is what she did so that she can be honorable. A day or two before the election, Packer posted on a lightly used and little-known Facebook group that she had just learned of her error and that she was so sorry to have suggested that I had opposed the 17th Amendment. You see, her lie was delivered to the broader population. She got that out to as many people as she possibly could. And her retraction was delivered to the smallest group that she could identify. Now you know the real truth, the actual truth. You also know the bought and paid for truth. The sad thing is that thousands perceived the truth that only money can buy, and they believed it. Last year, Representative Sage Dixon successfully brought a bill that allowed the creation of NRA license plates in Idaho. Now, each time an Idahoan buys one of these plates, the NRA makes money. Now, here's the thing. The only proper role of government, Sage Dixon's only job, is to protect the rights of the people. In the instant that Dixon sponsored that bill, he stopped representing the people. He stopped protecting their rights, and he became a state-sponsored fundraiser for the NRA. Now, I called him. I asked, why did you do this? His answer was interesting. He said, well, the bill wasn't really that important, not that big of a deal, but I needed experience in the bill creating process. Oh my gosh. Is that why the people elected him? So that he can practice instead of do? The bigger problem is that he has been bought and paid for by the NRA. From this day forward, I will always wonder if his words are truth or if they are the truth that only money can buy. Senator Mike Crapo, he helped pass NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. Now, because of that, government can apprehend and indefinitely detain any American citizen who it finds problematic. Hey, no due process required. Just lock them up and forget. Gestapo perfected this practice. Crapo embraced it. When a Violence Against Women Act was about to expire, Crapo revived it, and he placed it back on the books. Now, he took a bill that provided extra protections for female victims of violence, and he expanded it to include all Native American women who already receive extra money through their federal tribal payoffs. It also provided for all illegal aliens, forcing me to provide services for people who knowingly and willingly and illegally violate our nation's sovereignty. Finally, all gays, lesbians, transgenders get special treatment at my expense and yours. So, if I am walking down the street with a woman, a lesbian, a gay, an Indian, an illegal alien, actually 2 illegal aliens, male and female, and we all get mugged, beaten up, brutalized. Everybody gets help except for me, the American heterosexual male. So why this bill now? Look at the demographics. Crapo bought the vote of every uninformed conservative, because who could possibly object to protecting women? On top of that, he bought every female vote, every homosexual vote, every Native American vote, and now we see illegal aliens being allowed to vote in California. Well, he bought their votes as well. Crapo covered all the bases, and he bought everything. Now, you can bet that there was a lot of special interest money paving the way for this bill by paying for the version of truth that they wanted you to know. Mike Crapo has been rushing around the state, raising money like mad. This is strange, because he is not being challenged for a Senate seat. When he was here in Rockland, Idaho, pitching his little project, I demanded that he constitutionally show authority for these bills, either one of them. And here's the funny part. I offered him my pocket constitution so he might use it for reference. I held it out to him and I said, here is my constitution. Open it up and show me your justification. He pulled his hands back. He was afraid that constitution might burn him if he touched it. Now, he would not, because he could not show authority. Interesting, don't you think? The question remains, why is he in fundraising mode now? I don't know the answers to this question. What I do know is that money will be used for leverage and advantage. What I do know is that Representative Ron Nate and Representative Sage Dixon are all in for his support. Crapo is a Gadianton. Now, I don't know what has been promised or given or what they hope to get for their support, but I do know that something is in the kitty, and I don't like it. In his farewell address, George Washington stated, "It is our true policy to steer clear of permanent alliance with any portion of the foreign world." The inaugural address of Thomas Jefferson was no less clear. He stated, "Peace, commerce, and honest friendship with all nations, entangling alliances with none," unquote. This advice applies equally to Nate and Dixon. Either prove me wrong constitutionally or discontinue your unholy alliance with Crapo. Now, Ron Nate and Sage Dixon have some of the best voting records in the state with regard to liberty. I am grateful for that. However, just because you choose right most of the time, you do not get a pass the rest of the time. As an aside, a few years ago, Mike Crapo was caught driving drunk in Virginia. I submit that this was his finest and most productive hour as a senator. At this particular moment in time, he only risked the safety and welfare of one American family at a time. But on the Senate floor, he risks a nation of families all at once. He is an ex-Mormon bishop. If he so easily betrays his family, his marriage, his children, his church, will he think twice about betraying you? Remember, I know this man, and I speak from my own disappointing experience. Butch Otter! is also in fundraising mode. He created a PAC, that's a Political Action Committee, known as Otter PAC. He is raising money which will be used at the lowest levels of state government. If you love the Constitution, if you believe in freedom and liberty and the rule of law, and if you run as a precinct committeeman, there is a good chance that Otter PAC money will be used to present an alternate and fully paid for version of truth to be used against you. The Republican Party in Bonneville County and Kootenai County are condemning Otter PAC for what it is. Bonneville County Republican Chairman Doyle Beck has openly condemned Otter PAC, stating, quote, "The governor should spend his time governing. That's what he's hired to do. It's nothing to do with re-election. Therefore, it becomes total cronyism. We don't need that in Idaho. What other purpose or benefit would you get in the next 3 years with Governor Otter in donating to his PAC other than favors," unquote. Otter has no business manipulating self-government at the grassroots level. His full-time job is to defend the liberty of the people. And he is doing exactly the opposite. Why? He was nearly beaten by Russ Fulcher last go-around. I expect that Otter PAC is a thin veil for an insurance policy. Always remember that when a nation chooses to be ignorant and free, it chooses what never was and never will be. I want to hear from you. I am interested in your comments, your questions, and concerns. So if you have something to say, share it with me, and I will try to share it with everyone else. Here is what you do. Use your smartphone or tablet to record your comment or question. As a general rule, I have found that the best results will be had if you hold it about 1 foot from your mouth when you record. Send it to me with your full name, city, and state. You may also include a photo of yourself if you like. I will try to get it out, and I will respond personally. And I promise that I will never share anything other than your first name and your city. Just send it to dallypost.lance@gmail.com. I'll take it from there. Now be sure to check back soon. Our next episode, we're going to examine government's attack on natural rights with a focus on the Second Amendment. I'm Lance Earl. I'll see you soon.